Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful. But don't worry. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Hey everyone, feeling like your job search is stuck in a rut? Just going through the motions but not getting anywhere?
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, we've got something to shake things up.
Ooh, I like shake things up.
A deep dive into Michael Goldberg's approach to networking.
He literally wrote the book on it, right?
He did, and it's packed with advice that can transform your job search.
You know what really struck me?
What's that?
Was how he uses storytelling to bring these concepts to life.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller.
Like right from the start, he has this really engaging anecdote
Oh, yeah.
about hiking in the Hollywood Hills.
And having a chance encounter.
That led to a surprising opportunity.
Who would have thought?
I know, right?
That bonding over Batman with a complete stranger
Could lead to an internship connection.
That's Goldberg's point, though, isn't it? Networking is about being open to possibilities.
Exactly.
And recognizing that connections can sprout up anywhere.
Even in the most unexpected places.
But it's not just about chance encounters, is it?
Not at all.
There's more to it.
Goldberg emphasizes that this openness
Needs to be paired.
needs to be paired with a give-first mentality,
It's less about walking into a room thinking, what can I get?
and more about what can I offer, what can I learn.
I love that.
He breaks down this ideal networking mindset.
Into 6 reasons why people network.
Okay.
And some of them seem a little counterintuitive at first.
Yeah.
But health and safety first.
That's the first one.
Yeah, it might sound strange in a networking context,
You're right.
but it highlights the importance of genuine human connection.
It boils down to approaching networking with
Empathy.
empathy and concern for the other person.
Think about it even as simple, how are you doing?
Is that a completely different tone?
If it's asked with sincerity.
Exactly.
So it's not about just going through the motions.
Yeah.
It's about actually caring about the person you're talking to.
That makes so much sense.
And then he talks about being genuinely interested in the other person and their story
You can always tell when someone is just trying to make a connection.
versus when they're truly interested in what you have to say.
Absolutely.
And then that leads into the third reason,
Offering help.
offering help where you can.
It's about showing that you're not just there to take, but to contribute something to the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not just looking for a handout.
No.
You're looking to build a genuine connection.
Important distinction.
I think that's a really important distinction.
Yeah.
Let's get practical here.
Yeah.
Let's say you're at a networking event or even just chatting with someone new.
Mm-hmm.
How do you actually put this give first mentality into action?
That's where Goldberg's concept of the peace statement comes in.
Oh, the peace statement.
He calls it a cheat code for making a memorable first impression.
And I have to say,
It's pretty brilliant.
it's a brilliant framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than just your typical elevator pitch,
That
right?
got more depth and strategy to it.
And he uses this acronym,
PE,
CE.
to break it down.
So P stands for profession,
E is for expertise,
A is for environments.
and C is for call to action.
Okay, so let's break down each of those elements.
Okay.
Profession seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
You're basically stating what you do, right?
Yes. But Goldberg emphasizes that even if you're currently between jobs,
Uh-huh.
you still have a profession based on your experience and skills.
Okay.
It's about owning your professional identity
Okay.
and communicating it clearly. For example, you could say, I'm a marketing professional
Go.
currently exploring new opportunities.
Right. So it's a way to frame your current situation
Positively.
in a positive and proactive light.
Yeah.
Okay, what about expertise?
Okay.
What are the key things to highlight there?
It's about showcasing your strengths
Okay.
without overwhelming the listener with too much information.
Right.
Focus on your top 3 most relevant skills or areas of knowledge.
Okay.
You might say something like, my expertise lies in digital marketing, content creation, and social media strategy.
Got it. So you're giving them a quick snapshot of what you excel at, and then there's environments.
Yes.
That's where things get really targeted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where you get specific about the industries, types of companies.
Or even specific roles.
Or even specific roles that you're interested in.
Okay.
You might say, I'm particularly interested in working with tech startups or companies in the renewable energy sector.
So you're basically telling them, this is where I want to play, and this is what I bring to the table.
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then the final piece,
Is the call to action.
what's the best way to approach that
Yeah.
without sounding too pushy or desperate?
It's not about being pushy or demanding.
Okay.
It's about being clear and specific about how the listener might be able to help you.
So you might say something like,
I'm always looking to connect with people in the tech industry, so any advice or introductions you could offer would be greatly appreciated.
it leaves the door open for them to offer assistance without feeling pressured. Okay, I can see how having a well-crafted piece statement can make a huge difference in how you present yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the words.
Right? It's not just about the words.
There's a certain art to delivering it effectively.
Absolutely. It's not a script to be memorized and
Right.
recited robotically.
Right.
Goldberg encourages you to find your own voice,
Yeah.
make it conversational, and avoid sounding like you're reading from a cue card.
Right.
Yeah,
Practice it in front of a mirror
exactly.
or with a friend to get comfortable with it.
Yeah,
That's a great tip because the last thing you want is to sound rehearsed or inauthentic.
exactly.
But having a clear structure like the piece statement gives you a solid foundation to build on.
Absolutely. Gives you a framework for your introduction
Uh-huh.
while still allowing you to adapt it to different audiences and situations.
Right.
So what you might say to a recruiter at a job fair
Mm-hmm.
could be slightly different from what you'd say to someone you bump into at a networking event.
Speaking of who you're connecting with, Goldberg also emphasizes the importance of building a top 50 list, right?
A top 50 list.
This is where things get really strategic.
Yeah, he suggests identifying 50 individuals.
Who are your...
Who are your centers of influence?
These are people you already know who are well-connected
And influential.
and influential in your target industry.
Yeah.
It could be former colleagues, mentors, professors, or even friends and family members who have connections in your field.
Right.
So it's not just about collecting business cards at random events.
Oh.
It's about strategically nurturing relationships with people who can actually open doors for you.
And the key here is that you have a good relationship with these people.
Yes.
They're not just names on a list.
They're people who are invested in your success.
They're people who are invested in your success and willing to help you.
So it's about quality over quantity when it comes to building your network.
Absolutely.
But how do you actually cultivate these relationships? I mean, you don't want to just reach out when you need something, right?
That's right. Cultivating relationships is about consistent engagement and adding value.
So reach out regularly.
Reach out regularly. Share interesting articles, congratulate them on their achievements, or just check in to see how they're doing.
And this list should be a living document.
A living document.
You can add people as you meet them.
And remove others as your network evolves. It's like tending a garden, right?
Yes.
You have to consistently nurture those relationships to make them blossom.
But how do you make sure you're not just adding noise to their already busy lives?
One of the most effective ways to cultivate these relationships
Is through...
is through informational interviews.
These are casual conversations where you can learn more about their career path, gain insights into the industry, and get advice on your job search.
Right.
And just to be clear, an informational interview is not about asking for a job.
It's not a job interview.
It's about gathering information, building a connection, and expanding your network.
Precisely. And who knows, that informational interview could lead to an unexpected opportunity down the road.
It happens more often than you think.
More often than you think.
So having a strong top 50 list and knowing how to use it strategically
Yeah.
is really like having a secret weapon in your job search arsenal.
Absolutely. And it's a tool that you can continue to use and refine throughout your career.
Not just when you're looking for a new job.
Not just when you're looking for a new job.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling more energized and focused about my networking efforts.
Don't you?
But we've covered a lot of ground already, and I'm eager to dive deeper into some of Goldberg's other strategies.
Like the daily fight plan.
Like the daily fight plan.
Yes.
We'll be back to unpack all that and more, so stay tuned.
Looking forward to it. One thing that really stood out to me about Goldberg's approach was how he weaves together this give first mentality
Yeah.
with a really strategic framework for networking.
That perfect blend of heart and strategy.
Yes,
I think that's what makes his advice so powerful.
absolutely.
We were just talking about informational interviews.
Yes.
What are some good ways to make the most of those conversations?
Well, remember, it's not a job interview.
Right.
So go in with a mindset of curiosity and learning.
Okay.
Do your research beforehand on the person and their company.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare some thoughtful questions and be a good listener.
I think a lot of people get nervous about informational interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Because they feel like they're imposing on the other person's time.
Right.
Any tips for getting over that hurdle?
It's all about framing it the right way.
Okay.
Let them know that you admire their work
Uh-huh.
and would love to learn more about their career journey.
Okay.
People are usually happy to share their experiences and offer advice.
And don't be afraid to reach out to people you wouldn't normally think of as network connections.
Right.
You'd be surprised how willing people are to help, even if they don't work in your exact field.
Exactly. Goldberg even talks about serendipitous networking.
Those chance encounters that can blossom into valuable relationships.
Yeah, it could be a conversation with someone at the gym or a volunteer event.
Or even just standing in line at the grocery store.
You just never know where that next connection might come from.
You have to be open to it.
You have to be open.
Speaking of being open, we were talking about the 6 reasons why people network before.
Yes.
One that really resonated with me was the idea of paying it forward.
Oh, paying it forward.
What do you think Goldberg means by that?
It's about giving back to your network and to your community.
Okay.
It could be mentoring someone who's just starting out, volunteering your skills to a nonprofit, or simply offering a listening ear to a friend who's going through a tough time.
I think a lot of people view networking as this transactional thing.
Like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, but Goldberg is really advocating for a more generous and authentic approach, isn't he?
Absolutely. He talks about networking as a form of relationship building, not just a way to advance your career.
Okay, but let's be real. A lot of people are turning to networking specifically because they're looking for a job. So how do we bridge that gap between being helpful and generous while also effectively advocating for ourselves?
That's where the P statement comes in.
Uh-huh.
Remember, it's not just about introducing yourself.
Right.
It's about giving the other person a clear understanding of how they can help you.
And that's where the call to action comes in.
Exactly. It's about being specific about the kind of support you're looking for.
But it's not about being demanding or entitled.
No, it's about expressing your needs in a way that invites the other person to collaborate with you.
You know, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about networking, that it's all about asking for favors.
Right.
But when you approach it with the right mindset, it's
Yeah.
really about building mutually beneficial relationships.
Absolutely. And as you build those relationships and start connecting with people on your top 50 list,
Yeah.
remember to be consistent in your outreach.
Okay.
It's not about bombarding them with messages, but about staying on their radar and nurturing those connections over time.
So it's like tending a garden.
Exactly. You have to water those relationships regularly to make them grow.
And one of the best ways to water those relationships
Is by
is by offering value.
Yes, share interesting articles, congratulate them on their achievements, or offer your help with something they're working on.
And always remember to personalize your messages.
Oh, yeah.
Generic, mass-sent emails are a huge turnoff.
No one wants to get those.
Take the time to tailor your communication to the individual and their interests.
Speaking of personalization,
Yeah.
let's talk about Goldberg's daily fight plan,
Oh, the daily fight plan.
a concept he really dives into throughout his work.
Okay.
It's a daily plan for your job search to help you stay organized, focused, and motivated.
He compares job searching to boxing.
Yes, you have to train every day to be ready for the big fight.
And the daily fight plan is your training regimen.
Exactly. It keeps you moving forward with intention, avoiding the overwhelm that can often derail a job search.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break it down. What exactly does a daily fight plan entail?
Goldberg suggests structuring your day around 5 key elements:
Okay.
purpose, priorities, people, projects, and personal time.
Okay.
Let's start with purpose.
Okay.
What is your overarching goal for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and how does it align with your long-term career aspirations?
Right. So it's about setting an intention for the day.
Yes.
Something like submit 3 job applications or network with 5 people in the tech industry.
Exactly.
Having a clear purpose helps you stay motivated and focused on what matters most.
Then you move on to priorities.
What are those?
What are the top 3 tasks that absolutely must get done that day to move you closer to your goals?
So these are your non-negotiables.
Yes, the things that you can't afford to put off.
It could be things like updating your resume, writing a cover letter, prepping for an interview, or researching companies you're interested in.
Once you have your priorities locked in, it's time to focus on
People.
people.
Okay.
Who are you going to connect with today? Whether it's through email, phone, LinkedIn, or in person. And Goldberg suggests breaking this down into 3 categories:
Oh, okay.
prospects, follow-ups, and centers of influence.
Prospects would be new people you're reaching out to for the first time.
Right.
Follow-ups are people you've already connected with and need to circle back to.
Yes,
And centers of influence are the key players on your top 50 list.
exactly.
By intentionally scheduling these interactions into your day, you ensure that you're actively building and nurturing your network.
And then we have projects.
Projects.
This is where you tackle those larger tasks that require more than a day to complete.
Okay.
Things like working on your portfolio or researching companies or developing new skills.
Got it.
By breaking down those larger projects into smaller, manageable steps, you make them less daunting and ensure consistent progress.
I love that idea of breaking down big projects into smaller chunks.
It makes things so much easier.
It's so much easier to stay motivated when you feel like you're making tangible progress.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered purpose, priorities, people, and projects. What about the last element?
That's personal time.
Personal time.
This is crucial.
Okay.
It's where you schedule in activities that help you recharge and avoid burnout.
Okay, so things that bring you joy.
Exactly. It can be anything that brings you joy and restores your energy.
Like going for a walk, reading a book, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing a hobby.
Taking care of your mental and emotional well-being is essential for staying motivated and focused on your goals.
I think that's such an important point.
It really is.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and grind of the job search that we forget to take care of ourselves.
Right.
But if you're feeling burned out and exhausted, you're not going to be showing up as your best self in networking interactions.
Exactly. And Goldberg emphasizes that the daily fight plan is a flexible tool.
Okay.
You can adapt it to your individual needs and preferences.
So find a system that works for you.
Find a system that works for you and commit to using it consistently.
Okay.
It's about creating a structure that keeps you organized, motivated, and moving forward with intention.
This is so much more than just a to-do list, isn't it?
It's a framework.
It's really a framework for approaching your job search with a proactive and strategic mindset.
Yeah, and when you combine that with a give-first mentality, you're setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most powerful things about the daily fight plan is that it helps you shift from feeling overwhelmed and reactive
To feeling empowered and proactive.
you taking control of your job search and creating your own opportunities.
Exactly.
So in a way, it's not just a daily fight plan. It's a daily plan for success, not just in your job search, but in your life.
That's a great way to put it.
You know, it's funny how we often think of networking as something we do in person,
Yeah, face-to-face.
but so much of it happens online these days.
That's true.
Any tips from Goldberg on how to rock the virtual networking game?
He does.
Yeah, great.
First and foremost, he says, be mindful of your surroundings and minimize distractions.
That makes sense.
It's about presenting a professional image. Even if you're joining a Zoom meeting from your home office,
Yeah.
make sure your background is tidy, the lighting is good,
Uh-huh.
and you're dressed appropriately.
It's so easy to let those things slide when you're working remotely,
I know.
but first impressions still matter,
Even virtually.
even virtually.
Yes.
Yes.
Active listening is crucial.
Okay.
Avoid multitasking during video calls.
It's so tempting, though.
It's so tempting to check emails or scroll through social media.
Yeah, you have to stay focused.
You have to stay focused on the conversation.
It shows respect.
It shows respect and helps build that connection.
And keeping that camera on.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference.
Makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
Even though it can feel awkward sometimes,
A little bit.
it helps to create a more engaging and personal interaction.
For sure. Eye contact, even virtually, goes a long way.
I agree.
Goldberg also has this interesting point
Oh, yeah, what's that?
about communicating in the other person's time zone.
Well, that's a good one. So when scheduling a meeting with someone across the country, for example, send the invitation in their time zone.
That's a good tip.
It's a small gesture.
Shows consideration.
It shows consideration and professionalism.
I love that tip.
It's the little things.
It seems like Goldberg approaches networking as an ongoing process, not just a one-time event.
He breaks it down into 4 key phases:
Oh, what are those?
preparation, presentation follow-up, and maintenance.
Okay, let's start with preparation.
Okay.
What does that look like?
This is where you lay the groundwork for a successful interaction.
Okay.
Research the people you'll be meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Craft your peace statement.
Brainstorm questions.
Brainstorm questions and set clear objectives for the conversation.
So you're going in with a game plan,
Have a game plan,
knowing what you want to achieve,
knowing what you want to achieve,
and how you're going to get there.
how you're going to get there.
Okay, what about presentation?
This is where you bring your A game to the actual interaction. Make eye contact, listen attentively, ask engaging questions,
Mm-hmm.
and share your peace statement in a natural and conversational way.
Got it.
It's all about being present and authentic.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Okay, so you've nailed the preparation
And
and the presentation.
yes,
What about after the event or meeting?
that's where follow-up comes in.
That's where a lot of people drop the ball.
It's crucial. Goldberg is a huge advocate for following up within 24 hours.
24 hours.
Send a thank you note, connect on LinkedIn, or schedule a follow-up meeting if appropriate.
Keep some momentum going.
It keeps the momentum going and shows that you're genuinely interested in building a relationship.
Okay.
And the final phase is maintenance,
Okay, maintenance.
which is all about nurturing those relationships over the long term.
So staying in touch?
Staying in touch, sending occasional emails, checking in on LinkedIn, or scheduling coffee chats to keep those connections strong.
Networking is not a one-and-done activity.
No, it's about consistently cultivating those relationships. Yeah.
Like tending a garden, right?
Mhm.
You have to keep watering those plants if you want them to thrive.
Exactly.
But in the end, it's not just about collecting business cards or LinkedIn connections.
right, it's
It's about building genuine relationships that can benefit both parties.
Absolutely. And I think Goldberg's emphasis on the give first mentality really sets the stage for those kinds of mutually beneficial relationships.
You're not just approaching people with a transactional mindset.
No, you're coming from a place of generosity and a desire to connect.
I'm feeling incredibly inspired to step up my networking game.
Me too.
We've covered so much ground today, from crafting the perfect peace statement to creating a daily fight plan and mastering the art of virtual networking.
It's been a great deep dive.
It's clear that Goldberg's approach is all about being strategic, authentic, and persistent in your efforts.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And remember, you don't have to implement all of these strategies at once.
Right.
Start with one that resonates with you.
One step at a time.
Maybe it's crafting your peace statement, reaching out to someone on your top 50 list, or creating your own daily fight plan. Every small step you take brings you closer to your goals.
That's the key takeaway.
That's a great point. It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
So listeners, what will your first step be? We'd love to hear about your networking wins. Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving.